There are differences. So if you're going by science and the reports, they are two different things based on brain waves and based on the phenomenological reports. They are both different experiences, at least. But before we go into that, my analogy, and this is slightly influenced by Tibetan Buddhism, but also from my own experience, currently I lean towards the idea that a lucid dream is a bit like you are inside the computer of your own mind. You have access to the hard drive, the files and the pictures, so your trauma, memory, unconscious mind. And OBE is like you're inside the internet, so you access wider realities, external information. You can visit different sites and different people and get verified experiences, and potentially visit other beings or entities, let's say, or thought forms. So, but this is the tricky part. I do think there is a cable that attaches the lucid dream to the OBE state, so you can springboard from the lucid dream, the boundary of your own mind stream, into then wider planes of reality or existence. And what that is interpreted as depends on how you look at reality, how you define reality. That's what I lean towards. But going back to, if we do remove belief systems and such as the shamanic interpretation, Buddhist interpretation, spiritualist, and just look at the data, what do people actually report? There are some differences. So the main one is that lucid dreaming only happens when you're asleep. So lucid dreaming usually occurs in REM state, but sometimes in some deep sleep states. And the areas associated with self-assessment and self-perception, which is the right dorsal, lateral, prefrontal cortex, and the frontopolar regions, physiologically switch on. So it's a hybrid brain state. We're both conscious and unconscious at the same time, but lucid dreams only happen when we're asleep. The OBE can happen in multiple brain states when we're awake. In fact, most of them happen on the cusp of sleep in what we call the hypnagogic or the hypnopompic. So when we're falling asleep or waking up from sleep. And it's associated more so with the temporoparietal junction, also known as the TPJ, which is the visual, auditory, somatosensory system, so where we perceive ourselves to be in space. And when this is triggered, people can have an OBE-like experience. I say out-of-body-like experience because it's not a full-blown OBE. It's more to do with body distortions if that part of the brain is triggered. And this is the experiments that neurologist Olaf Blank did. So, and then the second thing with this is that the vibrational state is usually associated more so with the OBE than the lucid dreaming one. So before we exit the body or have the sensation of shifting beyond it, we might go through the vibrational state. Now they have put people into headsets and looked at their brain during the vibrational state. So they were awake in the vibrational state, wearing all the electrodes. And you might find this really interesting. They go up to peaks of 200 hertz in gamma wave. Gamma wave is the aha moment, the epiphany, the flow state, hyper-focused. And Buddhist monks that go into meditation in deep states, they've peaked at, I'm not sure if this number's exactly right, but up to like 100, I think it was 120, whereas if you're in the vibrational state, you're peaking up to 200. I mean, this is a rare few people, it wasn't everybody. So the brain states are different, but also subjectively it's different. People that have a lucid dream tend to go, aha, I am dreaming. They report that they had a dream. It was amazing. They had control. If you've had an OBE, generally you'll be like, that wasn't a dream. Most people say, and one of the most commonly reported phrases is, it felt realer than real. So that's just neurologically, phenomenologically, so how we experience them. There's some different things. So I'm going to just bullet point and quickly reel off some just for the sake of time. So there's the vibrational state, which I've mentioned. The body is different. So in an OBE, people report an energy or a light type of body that's malleable, almost ghost-like. I describe it in some of my experiences like an energy body, or if you've seen the film Predator with Arnold Schwarzenegger back in the day, the alien, which is almost see-through, that's what I've experienced myself like. But the body, how we experience the body in a lucid dream is not always for everybody, but it's almost exactly the same as your real body in real life. and then this falls over into the experience of sex. So I've not experienced astral sex out of choice, but apparently from what people report, it's like a blissful merging of energy, where there's kind of no edges to self. It's this overlapping, beautiful kind of merging, whereas sex in the lucid dream, of which I've had some experience, is almost the same, as almost exactly the same as real life. Of course, you can have it in the sky, you can have it with a celebrity or whatever, but the feeling is almost exactly the same as in a lucid dream. And then the interaction, the reality check. So in a lucid dream, you look at your hand, you look away, and you look back, and your hand might change. And that's because your brain can't recreate the same image twice because of the detailed pattern. When you try and do a reality check in the OBE, you can't do a reality check because you don't have a hand, because you've got an energy or a ghost-like hand, or sometimes you do get almost a holographic-y kind of hand, but you can't do, it doesn't work. Your brain's not recreating the same thing, because are you even within your own mindscape anymore? That can be slightly debatable. Then the time estimation's different, but I won't go into that just because of, once we get into time and space, that'll be it. We'll be into quantum physics, and we'll be going down the rabbit hole. But communication, people report more telepathy, so speaking with their mind or intention in OBEs versus in lucid dreams, generally speaking out loud. And then the return, there's often reports of crash landings, feeling of merging back with the body, whereas a lucid dream, you tend to just wake up out of the dream. But I suppose one of the big ones, what people want to know is the verified experiences. In an OBE, you can come out of the body, go and find a door number or a car number, or go see what your friend's up to, come back, and then report it the next day. In a lucid dream, you're not really going to somewhere that then you can come back and report something as evidenced, unless it's a prophetic lucid dream, in which case you've dreamt of something that then happens in the future. I mean, I'm not getting into different types of dreams here, because you can get into all sorts of shared experience in dreaming, and traveling to different places and then finding something out from that place. And this is what I mean about, there does seem to be some sort of malleable boundary between the edges of our own mind stream, assuming that there are any, and then greater or wider realms of reality, invisible planes, spirit world, or whatever you want to call those wider planes of existence. And similarities. So there are a lot of similarities. It depends, both experiences, as many people probably know in this group, depends on your level of control, your clarity, and your longevity. Depends on the skill, effectively, of the experiencer. Like in lucid dreaming, you can have advanced or high-level lucidity. And it's similar in OBs, where you can come out of your body and everything can be dark and black. Or you can come out of your body and you can have there are techniques to be able to lift the weight of the experience, and then gaining insights, having mystical experiences, it being very emotional, and it having a great impact on your life, because both of them are equally as fucking amazing as each other. They're both wonderful experiences. So that's in a nutshell, touching on some of the things, which some of them are debatable, some of them a lot of people report.